Hey there, folks, and welcome back to another episode of our venture in the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings, Flight Diary. Last episode, we had some stuff that went down. Some stuff escalated quickly. There was a quarrel between Isuka and Amane that left some very harsh words ringing in Amane's ears and in her mind, and she was just heartbroken. Isuka legitimately called her stupid and said didn't want to see her anymore simply because of a statement saying, hey, let's continue to help the Soaring Club now, get involved. But of course, Isuka was under the impression that because she's not part of Keifu Academy anymore, that would not be possible. And that led her to her outburst. But there were also some other things related to the influence that she had on Kotori. And I think what has happened is Isuka felt too much pressure that she probably never experienced before, and she doesn't really know how to deal with it. So this is one lesson to learn for us out there. As we live our lives through, in many cases, our experiences can also be an influence to others. And sometimes you may feel like this pressure, like you have to be just this kind of a perfect being, but that's not the case. But you can share what experience you've had to help other people. And yes, it's necessary to be a good example, but just know if you mess up unintentionally, acknowledge that mess up and then correct it. That's also part of the influence to help others, to let them know that when they mess up, especially unintentionally, that by self-correcting, there is honor in that. So with that, let's see if in this episode, Isuka and Amane can reconcile. Let's check it out. Hey, and it's raining. It was the end of summer break in our 4th year when I found out that Isuka was gone. It was as if the rainy season would never end. The gloomy weather just went on and on. This might be another flashback, but I don't know who it is yet. Might be Amane, or even Tatsuya, but we'll see. That summer, this person had gone to their grandfather's place in the countryside a few days before Oban. Because their grandpa was sick and didn't have long to live, the entire family had gathered there. When this person was a kid, they had been really close with their grandfather. He had always treated them well, even compared to the other grandchildren. So even though they felt bad for leaving the club behind, they left Kazagawa for a while. This might be Isuka. Around the same time, Amane hadn't been around either. She was in America at a research facility per her father's suggestion. She said it was her bargaining chip for her to refuse college admission. When this person returned to Kazagawa at the end of summer break, they came back to a broken glider and an empty garage. When they saw it like that, they knew there must have been an accident.
昨日飛び降そうに行ってみたけど、イスカはいなかった。いなくなってた。
This must have been Tatsuya saying that, but we'll see.
そうか。
行き先もどうなったのかも教えてはもらえなかった。
そうか。イスカも困ったやつだな。またこんなことをして。
Amane examined the damaged glider like it wasn't a big deal.
あまね。
きっとすぐにまた現れるさ。イスカはそういう子だろ。
Tatsuya couldn't think like that at all. The teachers kept their mouths tightly shut when asked about Isuka and tried to divert attention away from the topic. The manager of Flying Fish Manor looked at Tatsuya with sympathy but would not tell him anything. Tatsuya couldn't even find out if Isuka was safe or not.
戻ってくる前に破損した部分を補修してしまおう。これは大仕事だぞ。
Amane wasn't the kind of person to laugh a lot when Tatsuya first met her. She had started to laugh a lot more since that year they spent together in the garage, cheerfully from her heart. And she still laughed like that even now, even if she was sad or anxious. But Tatsuya couldn't even manage to smile. Another month passed. It had been over 2 weeks since fall semester had started. Not many people noticed Isuka was gone since she usually missed a lot of school and didn't have many friends. In fact, for some people, it might have been more peaceful than before, without Isuka's antics to shake things up. Surprisingly, the world kept spinning normally, as if no student had gone missing without a reason at all. Time erodes everything, smoothing out feelings and turning them into memories. Tatsuya bore the sorrow of losing Isuka, buried it, and moved on to a new, vain sense of daily life. But Amane did not. She kept confining herself to the garage even during the second semester.
よし、こんなもんかな。
そんなもの修理してどうなる？
いやあ、達也、久しぶりだな。
ソアリング部は廃部になる。生徒会から聞いてないのか？
The teachers had pressured the student council to abolish the club due to the accident, and even from a lack of members. Their advisor, Mr. Okano, suddenly quit after the summer break before he had been able to retire. We assumed he must have taken responsibility for the accident, but we didn't know for sure.
それなら大丈夫だ。私から先生らに説明して続けさせてもらえることになった。
I realized I slipped on the reading there and went into the first party versus the third party. It's kind of interesting being able to translate this into third party speech on the fly. So it's kind of unique. I actually get a kick out of it.
顧問はまだ決まっていないが、他の先生の代わりに新しい先生が来るそうだから頼んでみるつもりだ。
Amane had continued to lock herself in the garage, trying to keep the Soaring Club alive by herself.
やめよう、アマネ。イスカはもう戻ってこない。アマネ。
イスカが私に何も言わずいなくなるはずがない。親友なんだぞ、私とイスカは。
だからそれは。
それに約束したんだ。あの写真の場所へ連れて行ってくれるって。
アマネ。
The garage was like a time capsule that contained their time spent with Isuka. Amane tried to keep Isuka's promise alive by confining herself in the garage. Tatsuya could not do anything in front of that strong yet tense resolve. His feet started to wander further away from the garage and eventually from Amane.
組み立て急ぐよ。
It was Saturday morning. Aga's instructions were carried on the wind and could be heard from far away. Today we had a practice flight like normal, but everyone seemed to be putting in extra effort this morning.
時間無駄にしないで。小鳥を一回でも多く飛ばすんだから。
Does she have her pilot's license? That's right. We had completed Kotori's cockpit yesterday. Oh, getting the butterflies,
鳥先輩、緊張してガチガチです。
getting the butterflies.
違うわ、朝。これは武者震いってやつよ。
Uh-huh,
違うわ、朝。これは武者震いってやつよ。
sure.
鳥先輩、緊張してガチガチです。
Yes, she is. Uh-huh, sure. Sure she is.
鳥先輩、 おしっこ我慢してる人みたいですよ。
Get wrecked.
夜私が一人で操縦できるようになったら真っ先にあんたを後部座席に乗せてあげるわ。遠慮します。
Smart move.
こーら何くっちゃべってんの。あんたら全員お昼ご飯抜きにするわよ。
Yes, Mom. Jeez. Aga sure is enthusiastic today. It was Kotori's first time flying today, but for Aga, this was a test for the cockpit that she had made.
先輩点検リストを見てもらっていいっすか。イスカ
Boy. Now that's become a block word. Amane's face became cloudy as she was watching over the work. Yeah, that's definitely double-edged sword eyes right there.
いやそうじゃなくていいですか。ああいいぞ。
Amane and Isuka were still on bad terms with each other since the fight the other day. Actually, Amane had said that they weren't even friends anymore, but whenever Isuka's name was mentioned, she would get all worked up.
相当神経質になってるわね。怖いよ。
Yeah, it's the quiet folks that can get really dangerous if you ain't careful.
困ったもんだな。
Yeah, it is. Tatsuya said, looking at Amane's current state. He had helped us transport the aircraft this
イ
morning.
スカとはそれっきりか。
It seems like it. I'd already told Tatsuya what happened. I was going to ask him to mediate between the two of them, but even he couldn't get a hold of Isuka.
本当なら今日見に来てくれるはずだったのにな。
Kotori said downheartedly. She had said she would definitely come during the previous flight training.
やっぱり私のせいだよ。どうしよう。ハマネちゃんとイスカさんがこのままずーっと絶交したまんまだったら。
Don't worry about it. Don't think about anything else. You're going to be flying in the air soon, you know.
そうだった。私は空を飛ぶんだ。とっても危険なことなんだ。
Kotori mumbled to herself.
でも見せたかったな。私が飛ぶところ。みんな集まれ。ブリーフィング始めるよ。
Aga called everyone, and they gathered by Amane.
葵、俺そろそろ行くわ。
He's probably going to go find her. Huh? You're not going to stay and watch? Tatsuya said as he was off work today.
ああ。ちょっとな、用事を思い出した。
He's going to find Isuka. I'll bet you. What do you need to do?
ああ。もう二度とあの時のようにはしたくないからな。
He left in a fast pace after seemingly talking to himself.
こら、葵、早く来い。お昼抜きにされたいの？
My bad. After the briefing, we were preparing on the runway for the flight.
シートベルト緩くない？大丈夫よ。
Kotori was in the front seat. The only... okay, I think there's been a typo here. Only the front seat had been modified for Kotori. The rear still had the exact same layout.
あんた緊張しすぎ。シミュレーターやり込んできたんでしょ？
Still, even when you're in the simulator, that doesn't replace the real thing.
でも本物とは多分違うだろうし。どうなの、葵？
Don't worry, the simulator that Amane made is superb. The flight sensation was very realistic. Of course, you couldn't feel the wind flowing by, but Kotori had been in the glider with me several times. She knew how it felt to be above the sky.
だそうよ。まあ無茶しなければそうそう落ちるもんでもないし。
I'll be right there to support you. You'll be fine as long as you follow instructions.
おお。それじゃ楽しんできてね。グッドラック。
Ageha gave Kotori a thumbs up and moved away from the cockpit.
ハマネち
Kotori waved her hand, calling
ゃん。
Amane.
なんだ。行ってくるね。ああ、楽しんできてくれ。
Amane, would you close the canopy for us?
あ、
The canopy closed over the top of us. Lock check.
ロック確認。
All right. Don't touch it until I say so. Got it?
葵くんが指示するまで絶対に触らない。
The air currents seem a little stormy today, but you can fly higher on days like that. Kotori hesitantly answered and looked up at the sky from inside the canopy.
ついに飛ぶんだ。
Now that I thought about it, Kotori was the first one to volunteer when we didn't have a pilot. But she never had the opportunity since she couldn't use the rudder pedals. A year and some months later, it was finally Kotori's turn to fly.
私がイスカさんに憧れたのって変なのかな。
No, it's not. Huh?
嫌だったのかな。
I don't know. I answered as bluntly as I could. It wasn't the time to be sentimental. In just a few more minutes, we'd be sky high above the clouds.
ごめん。今考えることじゃないね。
She must have sensed that from my tone. I didn't know how Isuka felt about Kotori's admiration. Maybe she thought it was troublesome. Maybe she thought it was annoying. But Isuka had given wonderful things to Kotori. Dreams, hope, aspirations. Those had become the large white wings that were about to fly right now. No words would ever be enough. In order for Kotori to truly tell Isuka how she felt, she needed to fly. And let's see how Kotori flies on the next episode. Oh my gosh, did I just give y'all a cliffhanger or what? Oh, please don't hurt me, okay, folks? Please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me! But yeah, as it was said before, there are times to where we can be influential to others, whether we finish something or not. Maybe sometimes they finish it on our behalf. But one thing about it, our failures don't have to define us. Sometimes we get caught up in that. But our failures don't have to define us. So keep moving forward. Always move forward. And always continue to grow in maturity. The thing with Amane and Isuka, it's just a phase. I would imagine they're going to reconcile at some point. And I honestly do think they will. So with that, I want to thank everyone for watching this video this time around. If you like what you saw, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you'd like to see more and you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. And also be sure to hit the bell icon for notifications on here. And also check out my Twitter page for all updates related to the content that I post. So until next time, happy mixing, everyone.